On paper, Yinka has it all. She's Oxford educated, beautiful, and constantly surrounded by friends and family. Still, one persistent question makes her rethink her value and identity. Where is your husband? Will Yinka find happiness, and will that happiness come in the form of marriage before she's too old and it's too late? The book, Yinka, where is your husband? The author, Lizzie Damilola Blackburn, and you're listening to Lit Society. Let's get
punch in the air.
Hey, y'all. Hey, this is Kari.
And this is Alexis.
And you're listening to Lit Society, a show about books and drama. Alexis, how are you this evening?
Woo, child, tired, but I'm all right.
Thank you for joining us. It is about midnight by you. Just a reminder, listeners, we're bi-coastal. Mm-hmm. And so Alexis is making a huge sacrifice to record at this late hour so that I could finish the book today. Thank you, Alexis. Another reminder, Alexis, we have big news, right?
That's right. Exciting news.
What is that? You want to introduce that exciting news to our audience?
We have joined Patreon.
That's right, you guys. Starting October 1st, your favorite book podcast, yes, that's us, Lit Society Books and Drama, will be 100% on Patreon. That means in order to listen to this show, you will have to be a member on Patreon. However, it's free. It is free to join up for our membership. If you are a paid member, you will get an extra, full 4 episodes, past episodes, full archive, things like that. But if you are a free member, you will still get a few episodes every month as we dissect a new book each week. So please go over to Patreon. That's patreon.com/Lit Society Pod to sign up for our free membership tier to continue listening. Because we love you guys.
Yeah, and thank you all for supporting us in advance.
Yeah, thank you so much. That's going to help our show stay afloat as we meet our bills.
Okay, Yinka, the book, was published in January 2022, and there is not a lot of information about Lizzie Blackburn. But I do know she's British-Nigerian born in Peckham. She is married, so no one has to ask her, where is her husband? She started writing Yinka when she was in her 20s and feeling the pressure to settle down. That pressure moved her to start writing a short blog post that would later turn into this novel. In 2019, she won a writing competition with an early draft of this book. Kari. Mm-hmm. Who do you think would enjoy reading this book?
This book put me in the mind of Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reid, Black Girls Must Die Exhausted by Jane Allen, a type of book where the protagonist and her friends are around a certain age, mid to late 20s, and you really feel like you're watching an episode of your favorite sitcom.
Okay.
In this case, although I've never related to a protagonist in that setting as much as I related to Yinka, which I'll talk about a little more. But there's no high, really exaggerated plot twists or turns. This is more about everyday life as an everyday modern woman.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And Alexis, what made you choose this book?
So I like to peruse Libby for the next great thing. And this happened to be up at one point. And it's actually been on my to-be-read list for quite a while. Well,
so Libby recommended this?
Mm-hmm. Well, you can peruse it. You can peruse. And so I came across it that way.
Okay, I love that. Mm-hmm. Well, then without further ado, are you ready to get into a deep dive of the plot, a spoiler-filled deep dive of Yinka, Where is Your Husband?
Yeah, let's do that. Let's do it.
The floor is yours.
Thank you, Kari. Before we begin our deep dive, can you share with us the book's definition of husband?
Yes, husband, pronounced Huzband. 1. First of all, it's a noun. 1. A male partner in a marriage. Example, Yinka's younger sister Kimmy is married to Uche. Number 2. A non-existent man in a non-existent marriage whose whereabouts is often asked, usually by Nigerian mums and aunties of single British Nigerian women. Example, so Yinka, where's your husband? You're 31 now.
Picture it. The baby shower, part 1, January. There's also a prayer. It's Yinka's sister Kimmy's baby shower today, and everyone is having a good time. Yinka has not yet heard the classic words, Yinka, when is it going to be your turn? Or, Yinka, where is your husband? Because transition to womanhood is such an important event, Yinka's mom says she will dedicate time to praying over Kimmy, her husband, and the baby.
Womanhood or motherhood?
Motherhood. Did I say womanhood? Okay.
I thought so. That's okay.
Anyway, after the prayer, one of Yinka's auntie tells her mom, you didn't pray for your eldest daughter. Her mother responds like, oh, how could I forget Yinka as an investment banker? Okay. However, the rich auntie Debbie, who just arrived, says she will say the prayer. Yinka kind of cramps because she remembers what her Aunt Debbie did at Kimmy's wedding. Car, do you remember what she did?
No, what did she do?
Apparently, there was a flower bouquet.
Oh, no. Yeah. That was the aunt? I thought that was the mom.
Nah, that was Aunt Debbie.
So the baby sister Kimmy threw the bouquet. Someone caught it. Aunt Debbie ripped the bouquet out of the other woman's hands, asked her age. Once she found out she was the same age as Yinka, she split the bouquet between the two girls and said into the mic, there, now you both will find a husband. And everyone applauded.
Embarrassing much? Mm-hmm. She begins first. This is Aunt Debbie now. Well, how much she begins first with praising Yinka's accomplishments, her job, her house. And then she asks the Lord to intervene and give Yinka a good husband because she is 32 and exemplary. Mm-hmm. After she finishes, everyone is looking at Yinka and Kimmy's friends are holding back laughs. Yinka is angry and embarrassed again by her Aunt Debbie. Yinka tries to leave, but is cornered by her mom and Aunt Debbie. Yinka is inspired to reveal that she will be promoted on Tuesday, but corrects herself and says, well, I'll find out if I'm going to be promoted to from a managerial position to a vice president role. Aunt Debbie is happy, and mom tells Yinka, why do you want to run a bank? That's not a job for a woman who wants a husband and kids. Yinka's cousin Ola is nearby. That's also Aunt Debbie's daughter. And Aunt Debbie sees this as an opportunity to mention to Ola the importance of having a degree because Ola dropped out of school when she got pregnant the first time. Then Ola throws out Nana's name, who is Yinka's best friend, who is a fashion designer. And Aunt Debbie calls her an aspiring fashion designer. Yinka is quick to defend her friend, though. Aunt Debbie and Yinka's mom want Yinka to come visit their church so she can be introduced to one of Aunt Debbie's tenants who goes there and is a website designer and makes good money. She said, you'll like him. Now, I thought this was interesting because she has now put this man's business in the street. He is a tenant of her home, and she's like, yeah, he make good money. Is you supposed to be telling that?
I didn't even think of that. I just thought because she knew his profession, she No, she knows how much he makes.
She knows how much he makes.
And she's setting him up with family members. Okay, there we go.
Yes, yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So Yinka quickly declined. She's like, I'm not going to no setup with them. This is not for me. And she's like, I'm not rushing to meet anybody. I'm gonna wait on God's timing. And Aunt Debbie is like, husbands don't fall out the sky, Yinka, okay?
Can't meet one more kid.
Yeah.
Huh? She was like, God shall present him. And they was like, you better get it together and come to church for the sole purpose of getting rich and finding a husband.
That's right. Finding a husband. And then her mom is like, are you still crying over Femi? Femi? Aunt Debbie proceeds to list all the married with kids family members, but then their family, including one who's not married, but she knows soon will be. And Aunt Debbie then asks her if she wants to end up like Auntie Blessing. Auntie Blessing is a career-driven woman. She has no husband, no children.
You would think she had no teeth either. No teeth, no home.
No
you would think she
grandchildren.
had cardboard boxes for shoes.
Yeah, no, but she's living a good life. She's living a good life. And Yinka wants to defend Aunt Blessing because the times were different back then. Career-driven women weren't as widely accepted as they are today. Yinka tries to decline the offer again of going to church to meet this guy. And Yinka, her cousin Ola, interrupts and tells Yinka not to be so close-minded. No wonder you still single. Yinka knows Ola can be harsh sometimes, but she never raises her voice. And so Yinka wonders what she did to deserve Ola yelling at her like this. So she kind of is, upset. She's got tears that she's trying to hold back. And as she escapes the bedroom to the main room where the baby shower is going on, she runs into her cousin Rachel. And Rachel sticks her finger in her face and is like, I'm getting married. I'm engaged.
Yep.
Yinka's feeling away. Okay, Kari, what can you tell us about Femi?
Oh, Femi. Mm-hmm. Yes, Femi is a good guy. He is a Christian man who attempts to practice what he preaches, and he respects Yinka's beliefs. They seem to be on the same page. They dated for, how long was it?
I think it's 2 years.
Okay, let's say they dated for 2 years and they've been broken up for 3.
Yeah.
So he wasn't like overly fine, but he was handsome, kind. She enjoyed being with him. They seemed like a unit, And then he moved to New York for his career and the city convinced him that he wasn't ready for. I mean, they had talked about baby names. So they were dating with the goal of soon being married.
Yeah.
He went to New York and was like, guess what? I ain't even ready to be married. So we not dating no more.
No more.
And it broke her heart.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So Yinka is leaving this party with that weight, right? That she's not married yet.
And the thing is, she's what, 32?
She's 31.
She's
Don't
31. So she broke up with this guy at 28. And this is such a hot time in that you can easily have a deep relationship with someone, think it's going somewhere, it not work out. And then you're in your late 20s and everyone's like, oh, it was okay yesterday for you to be single.
Exactly.
But somehow today's price, you own. And you're just 33 years have passed. 3 years is nothing.
You owe back pay.
Not that you're ever too old to find love, if that's something you even want to do. But for some people, that time period between, I'll say 26 and 32, better happen then, or it ain't gonna never happen for you in their eyes, and something wrong with you.
So Yinka is frustrated. She leaves the party. She needs answers. She's searching for something. So she goes to the internet. She types in the question, what are the chances of meeting a guy and getting married when you are a 30-something-year-old woman? And she gets an answer from Quirrell and hopes that it will make her feel better. Car, do you remember what that post says from Quirrell?
No, but you were kind enough to remind me, so I'll read it or I'll summarize it.
Okay.
Basically, this is a question that has been proposed in the forum. And so an answer that's gotten 22 likes is, if you think your chances of finding a man and getting married increase just because some 30-something woman on here tells you about her experience, then you must be naive. That's like me coming on here asking, what are my chances of living till I'm 80? And why set a deadline for yourself? The last time I checked, one can get married at any age. The fact that you're asking this question in the first place tells me your values are misplaced and that you're one of those desperate types that need a ring to find happiness. Well, newsflash, woman, we're not in the 1950s. Start by loving yourself. I don't know. Looks like some of this I agree with.
Exactly.
But it's very judgy. It's very judgy.
And Yinka felt that judgment. She felt it. So then she tells us that, I don't feel like a woman has to get married. I just feel like that's something I value. And I like the idea of spending a life with someone that I've made a vow with and building a home and a family with them. Those are the things I like and I grew up appreciating. So she wants that. But she's like, I don't think that means I don't value myself. But we'll see, won't we? So Yinka finds herself taking a quiz that normally she wouldn't have taken, but given this public prayer that her auntie did, she feels things have to change. And the results of the quiz say that she'll meet someone in 5.5 years.
Which is like tomorrow. That's not very long, Alexis.
Not in Yinka's eyes.
Look at me believing the quiz.
Yinka is told as a response to the quiz, we admire how independent you are. You don't need a man to make you happy.
It's very patronizing.
And Yinka believes to think that Ola is right. Maybe she is the problem. So Yinka decides to find a man in time for Rachel's wedding. And she needs a plan with clear aims and objectives. So Operation Wedding Date, my plan to have a date for Rachel's wedding. Step one.
What do you think about this? I'm so sorry. What do you think about this type of, she has KPIs, which I'm sure you'll get into.
No, I won't.
What do you think about this? You won't? Okay.
But you feel free to throw them in there. So this is interesting. I think there's really a fine line. You can have goals, right? And aspire to get a man by a date, but I think there's a way to go about it and you can have a plan for that. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. But like you said, she had KPIs.
Yeah, she had key performance indicators to assess if she was on track to reach her goal of having a husband, essentially. And the only problem I see with that is...
Let's start with a date.
Okay, a date.
Fine,
but we all know what she wanted ultimately.
Yeah.
And the idea of having a date by a certain date or having a husband is contingent on someone else. It's like saying, I want to reach this career goal by such date. And these are my KPIs. I think that's great to have, but your promotions are usually contingent on your superiors and your value in your career is not. So there should be another track you can kind of hop on if the KPIs are not being met. But when it comes to dating, what's the other alternative to keep doing what you're doing, right? And why put
change the strategy a little bit.
Oh, no. Now we strategizing to get men?
Absolutely.
It's my opinion. Listen, there's so much pressure that the world puts on us. Why do we have to put more on ourselves?
Yinka meets with her friend Nana and gives her all the details of the shower and tells her she's got a plan to meet somebody. But she tells her she has a plan, but she doesn't tell her about Operation Wedding Date, okay? She doesn't give her full disclosure.
Yeah. She doesn't give her the because she don't want to seem crazy.
She don't want to seem crazy.
Would you do this?
No.
Oh, I don't know. It's hard. I believe in having goals.
You do. And so you think you might do it?
A goal for a man? No. That goes against everything I believe.
Yeah.
I don't think I could do that.
Yeah, you would not do that, dear. You would not do that.
Because then he the prize for real. You the prize, Yinka. You the prize. Go do what prizes do.
She's not there yet. So Nana warns her not to put a lot of hope in meeting anybody at the engagement party because that's one of her plans. Step one in her plan is to meet a guy at Rachel's engagement party and exchange numbers with them. And then
that sounds fun to me. Like, that's a fun goal to have. Like, yeah, I'm going to meet someone at this party.
I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
I don't think so.
Okay, we're all good.
Yeah, we're okay with you here, Yinka.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Then she tells her to try online dating, but Yinka's not quite ready for that.
Back up.
Nana tells Yinka to try online dating, and Yinka's not really ready for that. She's not she's not on social media, so that's not her thing anyway.
Yeah.
So Nana asked also asked if she could move into Yinka's house because, she got some situation going on.
She slipped that in there. Well, her landlord, a few months in, is raising the rent. So she's Yinka, I'm going to live at your house, okay? And Yinka like, no.
Yeah.
You messy.
Yep. And she said, but I cook. And she said, okay, you can move in.
Eventually, yeah.
Yeah. Remember
Actually, that's not what gets her in the door, but that's okay.
Remember that promotion Yinka was expecting?
There we go.
She didn't get it. It turns out that was not a promotion, but she instead was being made redundant. So she lost her job. Yinka is devastated. She has worked for this company for 8 years. She did not see this coming. Not one bit. Yinka decided not to tell her mother. She figured she'd get a job really quickly because of her background and skills in the company from what she's coming from. But she does tell her auntie Blessing. This is like the favorite aunt for her because she has, she's career driven. That's the one that the other aunt and mom tried to shame her. And Aunt Blessing encourages Yinka to tell her mother because Aunt Blessing doesn't want to have a story about Yinka that her mother doesn't know. Aunt Blessing reminds Yinka she didn't even like the job that she was working anyway. So it's a good time to go back to your passion and start working for a charity. Yinka was like, I don't want to do that. Yinka didn't go into charity work after university because her mom discouraged it. And Auntie Blessing suggests Yinka reach out to one of those people she worked with that still live in the area. And she's like, I think his name was Donovan. Why don't you reach out to him? And the first thing Yinka remembers is that Donovan she didn't like him. He was annoying and quite opinionated.
So all this pressure her mother puts on her, the way her mother measures the success of her children, all of those marks are based on things outside of their control. It's really unfortunate whether they'll have a husband, whether they'll achieve this in their career. She calls Yinka an investment banker when Yinka's never been an investment banker. Yeah. But that sounds prestigious. So it's a lot of pressure. And now she's lost her job. Completely not her fault. It's not because of her performance. And she can't even tell her mother. And at this point, I'm like, well, maybe stop talking to your mama. I don't know. Do you need to talk to your mama as much as you do?
That's what
she seems toxic. But Yinka actually chooses something better.
So Yinka is like, okay, I'm going to start looking for a job. And she's at Auntie Blessing's house. And while she's over there, she see Facebook. So she look up, guess what? Her old boyfriend. And she see he posted this Yorkie bar. Now, I don't know what that is, but I have been to England and I don't think I know what that is. But anyway, it's pretty popular. And he has a picture of the Yorkie bar and it says nostalgic or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she's wondering if he's missing the UK, his former life, or maybe her.
Oh, yeah. Look at my old thing wanting me back.
Mm-hmm. But too late, buddy. You missed out. She's ready to say that, right? Mm-hmm. Anyway, we get to the engagement party. She comes prepared to meet someone. She even reads a Daily Mail article on how to approach a guy. But she didn't come dressed to impress, right?
She thought it was casual. She came with a Game of Thrones t-shirt.
Child.
Everybody else wearing sequins mini dresses. She looks kind of sad. Actually, a friend taught me this tip. Mm-hmm. Slightly underdress at a party to stand out and feel comfortable and confident. Now, I haven't been to a party in like 56 years, but I remember it worked.
So you have tried it?
Oh, yeah. And it worked.
So would you say that Yinka was too underdressed?
No, she had a t-shirt on that I'm hoping she looked good in and some jeans. Mm-hmm. That actually sounds perfect to me, especially when people are wearing sequins mini dresses.
Okay.
You almost look same. Like, oh, you're like smarter than the average bear, Yinka.
Yinka did not feel that way. She did not feel that way. So she starts scanning the crowd to look for her a possible guy she could pick up, essentially.
A slob, like her.
She wasn't looking for that, but she comes across this guy named Derek. Now, Derek is a guy that told her he was interested in her right after she broke up with Femi.
In the sweetest way, by the way. Mm-hmm.
And she is not at all attracted to him. She has friend-zoned him immediately.
He kind of gives her the ick. Mm-hmm. Ooh.
Mm-hmm. She also meets a woman who looks like an Instagram model and quickly learns it's Femi's fiance.
So this girl walks in and the first thing Yinka thinks is she's so fair-skinned. Mm-hmm. Wow, all the men are looking at her. Wow, her hair, it's so beautiful. Oh my goodness, her body is perfect. Mm-hmm. The girl sparks up a conversation with Yinka, which in hindsight is suspicious. But she walk up to Yinka and Yinka's the first person she talks to. And she's like, Yinka's mind is like, where did this gorgeous goddess come from? And then the girl's like, oh, I'm here with my fiance in her American accent. And yes, the fiance is Femi. It's all very
Femi.
Relatable.
And she's like, oh, Femi looked like he upgraded.
Oh, he looking
extra fine.
He is fine now, and I'm wearing a Game of Thrones t-shirt. I didn't say wear that shirt now. You could have did a little better. But
listen, Femi's girlfriend assumes that Yinka is dating Derek because they're wearing matching t-shirts. And he brings her a drink. But of course, Yinka's like, that ain't my man. So Femi asks Yinka, is she seeing anyone? And Yinka is sure. He asked to make sure she's moved on after he broke her heart. What does Yinka do?
She lied. She lied so fast. Yep, I sure am. His name is Alex. That's the guy at her auntie church, her mama church too.
Mm-hmm. He's at home sick.
She ain't never even met that man.
Hello. I've been dating him 7, 8, 9 months. Ugh. Yeah. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. So after she gets over the shock of seeing him there and with this gorgeous woman, Yinka quickly leaves.
But to his credit, Femi seems to be relieved that she's seeing someone like, oh, you got over me. Thank goodness. Because you really deserve someone great. He doesn't say that, but that's what his body language is saying. Like he was genuinely interested if she's seeing someone. And I'm like, well, first of all, it ain't none of your business. Second of all, just because she ain't, don't mean she not happy.
Exactly. There's so much in that, right?
There's so much
But he actually does call her the next day and says he's glad she's got someone. They both deserve to be happy. He even
this was so relatable to me because I've met beautiful people that were dating people I had wanted to date.
She even asks if he still works at her job and says, I'll see you in July. So this is like a really tough hit for her because You got the old boyfriend calling you that he looks like he's really happy and the girl that he's with is really beautiful. You don't have a man, nor do you have a job. It's a tough spot to be in. And that's how she's feeling. So she's feeling a little desperate. So into this next part, we're going to talk about the men she meets and her insecurities. So like I said, she lost her job. She's her ex is engaged. She is starting to spiral. You remember that plan? It's time to ramp it up. Remember that guy her mom and Aunt Debbie wanted her to meet? Yinka's getting ready to meet him. She's ready. She's in the mood now. At one point, so she goes to the church and she's, dressed to a 10. And we get to meet Alex. Kari, what does Alex look like?
Alex is fine, chocolate skin. He looks like he looked like a young Tyson Beckford. And it took me a while to remember who that was. Wow, what a throwback. Exactly. He's got like slightly hooded eyes and a real intense gaze. And he's just a shock. He's so beautiful. It is shocking.
Yinka is feeling like she hit the jackpot. He moved from Nigeria to be close to his mom after his sister died. His twin sister, yeah. They exchanged numbers. He asked for her number.
He's talking to her in a way where she gives him an out. And he chooses to stay there and talk to her. And I know this feeling when you're like, wow, you're gorgeous and you're talking to me? Me?
I think we all know that feeling.
Yeah, of course.
I think we all do at least one time in our life.
Like, wow. And y'all be talking about nothing.
Nothing.
But it's like, wow, I am so interested. He was talking to me.
Yinka is really attracted to him and decides that the attraction is mutual.
He want me.
But she also got a job interview coming up, right? So she's got to prepare for that. So Yinka, her cousin Rachel is getting married. She's in the wedding party. She's one of the girls. And it's a group of cousins and then her friend Nana. And Yinka reveals that she's met Alex. And after the cousin fussed, the one that fussed at her for being stubborn, she wanted to know how it went seeing Femi at the engagement party. And Yinka was like, oh, yeah, that was fine. I met Alex, don't forget.
Yeah, let's focus on my wins.
And that he asked for her number. So Ola, so like they're in this group, they're at lunch. I'll just say they're at lunch. And when she mentions Alex, she's like, the girls want to see a picture and she doesn't have one because she doesn't use the social medias. So Ola, the cousin, pulls it out, Facebook, and looks him up and shows everybody. Hey, everybody, look, this is the man right here. He is full on.
Yeah.
And Ola wonders why that man so fine is single. What's going on with him?
Oh, that would be me.
I
don't know if I would be pulling them up, showing everybody. That's really your choice to do that. But once I seen him, I'd be like, so why is he single? And that's not right.
Yeah.
But that's what I would do.
I
want you asking critical questions.
That's what it really is. You looking out. So Yinka notices that the women in the picture are the complete opposite of her. What does Yinka look like, Kari?
She's thin, deep-skinned, short hair. She calls herself having a J butt. That is where it is flat with a little curve. And, if none of this sounds favorable, that's how she looks at herself. Really sound like she looked like a supermodel to me. But
yeah. So yeah, that's what she looks. So the complete opposite of her is a fair-skinned woman, a curvy woman. And these are the women that's in the picture with him.
She says like Baywatch models, which I'm like, what are these references?
At this
Tyson
point,
Beckford, Baywatch.
It's a time period. And she decides, maybe I read it all wrong. Jumped to conclusions too quickly, in fact. But he was the one who asked me for my number. We've been WhatsApping. And this is the kicker. He licked his lips at me. And according to Cosmopolitan, that's the top sign that the guy is into you.
Scientific.
Mm-hmm. Then Yinka sees a woman on the page that's dark skinned. And so then she's like, oh, well, I'm going to show the girls my text messages, the WhatsApp messages with him. Ola especially needs to see it. And Ola, she like, Yinka, don't get your hopes up, okay? In fact, let's get back to planning this wedding. I'm tired of talking about you and that boy. Ooh, she was so harsh. Yinka's feelings are so hurt. Yinka wonders if she's just really a pushover at this point. So
I kind of feel like, don't get your hopes up, but maybe don't tell her that. I agree she shouldn't get her hopes up.
It's the way you present it to people. It's the way.
She like has a crush on this guy. Like people like talking about their crushes.
Yeah, they
to
do.
Their friends.
Mm-hmm.
I can indulge that. What? Yeah.
So let's
But also don't get your hopes up. She right though.
Yeah, right. You're doing too much. Let's talk about Derek.
You're doing too much.
So remember Derek, he's the guy that shared feelings with Yinka after she broke up with Femi. Well, he actually happens to go to the same church that Yinka's mom and Aunt Debbie goes to. And every week, the parishioners from this church go to a Chinese restaurant for lunch. Well, the very day that Alex and Yinka are there for lunch, Derek sees Yinka carrying plates of food and offers to help. She declines. And invites, and so after she declines, he's like, well, why don't you come and help out at this charity event that I'm working? I do it every week. And I don't remember the specifics of the charity, but it's something that he does weekly. And I think he organizes to the church. And they happen to be working with an organization that she has worked with in the past. So she's kind of excited to go work with them because charity has been her passion. But she went into investment banking. But then she remembers she has an interview in a few days. So she says she'll come another time. Because she's hurrying back to get to Alex because she's having lunch with Alex.
Can I talk
Go right ahead. Go right ahead.
She used to babysit this girl. I forgot her name. Let's say Vanessa.
Vanessa is it.
Oh, okay. So she used to babysit this girl named Vanessa. Vanessa is fine now and an adult. She runs up to Yinka and Alex while they're chatting, and Yinka's trying to be all in her feelings about how fine Alex is. And then this beautiful young Vanessa runs up, and she's fair-skinned, curvy, perky, very hi. Alex goes and sits because she's like, you guys can come sit with us. So Alex goes and sits with Vanessa, and Yinka's insecurities pop out and show her. Okay, they like, he want this young girl now because she's fair-skinned and curvy and young, and you old, washed up 31. You need to go make him a plate of food so he'll love you because your mama say that a way to a man's stomach heart is through the stomach.
That's
so
right.
She piles on her plate, and then everything she got, she makes a double plate for him and spills it on a baby on her way to the seat. An actual baby. She spilled all the food on top of a baby.
So she really looks silly, right? She really looks silly. Derek comes to help her, right?
Derek kneels down and says, I know you're embarrassed, but no need to feel alone because I'm down here with you too. And my heart was like, how ugly is Derek? Because I think she needs... That is so sweet. That's something a girlfriend would do for you. Like, girl, let's just play in this food till everybody stop looking. And that's what Derek did.
That's what Derek did.
He must be really ugly.
He's down there so long with her. The aunties nearby are looking and start making comments. He eventually gets up and like goes and makes a second plate for her again. So,
and what does she do? She leaves out of embarrassment.
But she's embarrassed because she thinks Alex and Vanessa have watched her fall and are sitting over there laughing and talking.
Oh my goodness. This has happened to me. This is something that would have happened to me. So let me not act high and mighty. I'm an old married lady now, but there used to be a time when I was a clumsy single girl.
You got stories. Oh, boy. In the meanwhile, Yinka decides she's going to get her a weave.
Oh, my God.
And Aunt Blessing is going to sew it in for her. So
now, hey, I love weave. But her motivation is wrong. This is all part of her KPI and achievements for finding a man. That's what happened.
So you remember that volunteer opportunity Yinka declined because she had a job interview? Well,
indeed.
She found out Alex was gone. So she's like, me too, okay? We'll be there together. And she arrives and Alex is not there. But she gets a blast from the past. Who might that be, Curry? Donovan. That's right, Donovan.
I got him confused with Derek. Hold on, ask me again.
And who might that be, Curry?
Donovan.
That's right. Donovan is here. Now,
that's the arrogant one with all the opinions.
A fellow charity worker that she spent her gap year with. All the opinions. She did not like him. He always wanted to debate with her because she believed in God. He felt like he was always just like digging at her. He had a problem with everything she said and did. Time has aged. And Donovan is looking good, girl.
Time has aged. Okay. Yeah, right. Girl. Wine.
Time has aged Donovan, okay?
There we go. I knew what you meant. He ain't no contemptuous, contrarian little boy. Now he a contrarian man.
Absolutely. And child, Donovan is attractive.
So ain't nothing more attractive than a man that don't think nothing you say is intelligent. No, I'm just kidding, but that's what Yinka is like. Oh.
Listen, while working together at this charity event, Derek's charity event, Donovan and Yinka catch up and he reminds her how passionate she was for charity work. And he tells her that he's surprised she went into investment banking. It seems like Donovan is a new person until he don't. Because he, she talks about still being a Christian, and he talks about the negative. What does he do, Kari? I lost my words.
He questions her about her faith, right?
Yeah, he questions her about her faith,
which
not in a good way. Not in a good way. This is when he's being harsh and negative.
I kind of felt like he left the door open for her to explain why she believes what she believes, but maybe she's just sick of him because she knows his MO.
That could be.
But can you not question people about what they believe?
You can question people about what they believe, but it's a way to do it. And he was always just very harsh and condescending. And so, but Yinka in this instance stands up for herself. She says, I will not take this approach that you're coming to me with. And she also finds herself honest with Donovan. She reveals to him that she's been made redundant at her job. She hasn't revealed that to anybody else but Nana and her auntie. Not even Alex. So, anyway. So, Alex, listen, we go back to church again, and Alex introduces Yinka to his mom. And that's because when Yinka left the Chinese buffet, she left her sweater behind, her jacket behind. And so Alex needed to give it to her. So he had her sweater for a few days. So the next time Yinka goes to the church, he's like, I got to get this sweater to Yinka. And his mom says, so this is Yinka. Oh, look at her. Her clothes are gorgeous. So she's like, oh, his mom knows me.
Yeah, this is exactly what I would have thought. Yeah, he's talking about me all the time because his mama know me.
And she got her weave done. So she like, this makeover is working for me. Yeah. He's attractive.
KPI reached. I am on track.
They have a little back and forth about Yinka's cooking skills. And then Yinka remembers that her aunt's words of encouragement. So what if a woman makes the first move, okay? Yinka is emboldened by the compliments and conversation, and she invites Alex to lunch at her place next week. And guess what? She gonna be cooking food she don't know how to cook. And guess what? it's on Valentine's Day.
And guess what? The next day she has a job interview, and it's kind of important.
Mm-hmm.
But whatever.
Yinka feels like her plan is working. She's got a date, and it's on Valentine's Day. Listen, Nana learns about Yinka's plan, the weave, borrowing Nana's African print clothes. And first, Nana tells her she cannot borrow her clothes, like point blank, period. Don't touch them. That's her roommate. She said, don't borrow my stuff because I'm not in on your plan. In fact,
I think you need help.
I think you need help. And remember the phrase I taught you? Mm-hmm. I am who I say I am. Mm-hmm. And you not being who you say you are. Mm-hmm. So she's reminding Yinka that changing herself for a date is not the answer. And Yinka tells her, look, we all put our best foot forward when we start dating.
It's like getting a new outfit for a job interview.
Mm-hmm. That's it. That's all. That's it. That's all. So Yinka's interview goes, that first stage, that initial stage with HR goes pretty well. She's moving on to the next process. No. Donovan, let's get back to Donovan. Yinka runs into Donovan at the chicken takeaway place. And funny thing about the chicken takeaway place, when Yinka was talking to Alex, she was like, oh, I love the chicken place. And he was like, ooh. Mm-hmm. He was actually disgusted and told her, don't eat too much of that. You need to eat real Nigerian food. Mm-hmm. And Donovan, on the other hand, is right at the chicken takeaway place. And she says they're not on speaking terms, but he said, well, this is called the law of attraction. So the fact that we're coming back together gives me an opportunity to have a second chance at you. And her stomach flutters. She gets butterflies.
Yeah, I mean, you making it sound like he coming on to her, and that's not what's going on. He's teasing her. It's not, Alexis.
And I'm not, but that's what he said. He said law of attraction. This is a second chance to get on your good side.
Okay.
Yeah. No?
Yeah, that's what he said.
But they go out and they enjoy takeaway together. And it's very natural. It's very good conversation.
Yeah, they have a naturalness.
Yeah. And Donovan explains his withdrawal from faith. Yinka feels like she sees the real him, the real person. Mm-hmm. They talk about their breakups. He talks about how counseling has helped him in his breakup. With his breakup and how it's a worthy investment. And instead of going to prepare for her next stage of her interview, she decides to go do charity work with Donovan. So that was a really comfortable experience where she could truly be herself with somebody. Mm-hmm. So the women get together again to plan for the wedding. And just as quickly as Ola and Yinka make up, they fall out again because Ola is not excited for Yinka in this situation with the Valentine's Day date. Ola thinks Yinka is reading too much into this whole situation. She said, the guy brought you up to his mom because he had your jacket. That's the only reason why. It's not because of anything else. You're cooking dinner for him on Valentine's Day. He's not cooking for you. Shouldn't he be trying to impress you? That's not happening.
These are all good points, but why you got to say it like that?
Because she her cousin. Mm-hmm. Just to the honesty.
So would you say this to someone that was crushing hard on someone else?
Mm-hmm. I would.
I think I would too, but not like this at all.
So how would you say it?
I would make sure to say it in a way that is very critical of him and not of her.
Got it.
Okay?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Especially since I know her and I know she has good intention. We don't know him yet. Mm-mm. And his mom might only know you because of the sweater. Just keep that in mind. Okay?
And
if this is a romance... Yeah.
Yeah.
Why didn't he offer to cook for you? Mm-hmm. That's what I would say.
So Yinka asked Nana to cook for her date. And She's like, I'll help you.
Can you, roommate and best friend, cook for my date? I've seen this done too.
Really?
I had a friend who her boyfriend got sick. I had a friend, we'll call her Jamaica. I had a friend named Jamaica, and her boyfriend Cletus got sick. So she asked her friend Mary to make a soup that Mary was really good at making. And Jamaica dropped it off at Cletus' house.
Like it was her own?
I think she let him believe she made it.
You don't
they
say
married
nothing.
now. They married now, but I thought that was kind of wild.
Is her friend still cooking soups?
Probably. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of. Why can't you be like, oh, Mary cooked this?
Yeah, simple, right?
I don't know. It's kind of weird. You just cook your nasty soup and give it to her. That's how I feel. Because it's the thought that.
No.
Oh, no.
Because you wanted to be well. You don't want to be sick. Listen. Nana feels Yinka is really changing herself for this date because she don't have her own hair on.
Which isn't her. That's not her style.
It's not her style.
Yeah. So you wearing somebody else's hair.
Natural for 20 years. And she saw him with women with long flowy hair. So
she got some long flowy.
And so Nana doesn't like that. That's her friend. That's her bestie. And she's seeing this change come over her friend and she does not like it.
Right.
She reminds her, I am who I say I am. Remember that. Stop changing for other people. So the day of the dinner, Alex comes over and he is like loving every bit of this Nigerian food that Nana
Yinka, quote unquote. Does he even know who cooked it? He
doesn't know.
That's terrible.
Plus, she posted pictures like the day before on her page.
Be on social like that.
Yeah, but she did it for this moment. The outfit she has on, she stole from Nana's closet. Yeah.
I would have did this. Listen, I wouldn't have did the food thing, but I'll definitely wear your whole wardrobe if I think it might get me my goal. Yeah, because you ain't around. You ain't gonna know.
But she came home.
Yeah. Oh, man, Yinka, we caught. Oh, no.
Yeah. So Nana came home because she forgot something. And she's introduced to Alex. Alex is like, yeah, oh, this is your friend that made the dress. The dress is beautiful. Do you have a store? I want to buy my mom some stuff. Oh, let me get you a business card. Here. I can't find it, but I'm going to get you one.
Yeah, because I can design your website. I'm a web designer.
Yeah, let me help you.
Yeah.
When Nana leaves, Alex tells Yinka he likes Nana. Ugh.
Yeah, I've been there too. Like, you just met her once. You don't like me?
Not once.
You've hung out with me a whole bunch of times. And you like my friend that you just met?
Like for 2 seconds.
For 2 seconds?
She is absolutely devastated, and promises never to change her body or herself again for anybody. That's what she promises. And she's crying to Nana. And Nana's like, yes, don't do that no more. Girl, take care of yourself. In fact, you need a therapist.
Can I say that she does do something here, which I thought was a little dark. Her friend has confided in Yinka, I am a romantic. Not a romantic, but a romantic. Meaning I lack the ability to develop romantic feelings. I've never wanted to be romantic with anyone else. And I think this is why. I've told my parents, they are accepting me. And so I'm telling you because you're my friend. Now, Alex is like, I kind of want your friend. And Yinka's like, she ain't romantic. She can't even be romantic. And I thought, oh, that's gross.
Why did you tell her that? Why did you feel compelled to tell him that? Excuse me.
To Yinka's credit, she comes forward to her friend and she's like, I told him you were aromantic. And the girl is like, oh, girl, I don't care.
Yeah, that's the thing. She says that's fortunate her friend didn't care. That
was very forgiving. But Yinka, bad move. That was nasty. Nasty girl.
Yeah, and I think she does that a little later on in the book as well. And how she pops off and starts talking about things. So
that wasn't your business to tell. And it was
not your business.
Pretty terrible, actually.
Yeah. So after having this Alex Valentine's date thingy that doesn't work out, she is like, I don't want to tell Ola or Rachel nothing. I don't want to tell them.
She's back to square one in her plan to find a husband.
Yeah. Yinka interviews. You remember that interview she kept putting off? Well, she didn't get the job.
Nah.
So her Aunt Blessing puts her in contact with one of her business contacts for more investment banking work, while Donovan is still encouraging her to go into charity work. So the next day when the women meet up, they ask about that date, and Yinka does what, Kari? She lies.
Oh, does she lie?
She lies.
Again?
She lies. And when the truth finally comes out, it's at Rachel's bridal shower. And when Ola finds out, that's her cousin that be mean to her sometimes, she laughing so hard she can't even contain herself.
I didn't understand that. Where's the funny?
It wasn't funny, but she was laughing really hard.
I can have a spiteful sense of humor, and even I didn't like that at all. Like, you wish. Why? She's like, you made all that food for him, and then he like your friend. Oh my God! First of all, Yinka didn't even make that food. So what you talking about?
Also, that mind your business, okay? Mind your business.
Yeah, that was really cruel.
Yeah, Yinka is embarrassed, angry, and she storms out. I'm not really going to go into the why.
Don't she storm out and say, "That's why your husband wanted me"?
Absolutely.
Dang, Yinka.
That's why she storms out.
Two wrongs don't make it right.
But she gonna get this wrong. She giving it to her. She
turned that Kiki into a boo-hoo. Go ahead, Yinka.
Yinka was so sick of Ola. She was sick of her. Shoot.
Yeah.
Ola was really going after her. And then the thing is, their cousin Rachel was always, it seemed like she was always siding with Ola, and no one was ever coming to Yinka's aid. And
so Yinka was like, I'm thrashing out with the truth.
So Yinka initiates the next stage. What's that? Dating online. Whoa, Tinder, Hinge, get in there.
Grinder.
Grinder.
Go ahead.
She meets this guy.
She on all the sites.
All of them. She meets this guy named Marcus.
Yeah.
She relaxes a little bit with him, and she drinks more wine than she usually does because she
don't drink a lot. Yeah, she doesn't drink. She drinks, but in moderation. She doesn't drink to get drunk.
Nope. And she done had 3 glasses of wine with this man.
This is someone that doesn't really drink.
And wasted. This is in the middle of the day too. This also in the middle of the day. And then while she's on the dating app, she also notices that Donovan is on the dating apps. So Marcus' relationship with Marcus is over quick because he learns she's a virgin, and initially he agrees to wait, but then he ghosts her for like 7 days. And then she ends up calling him like 15 times, I think in one day. And then he calls her, and that call happens to come through while she's with the girls. Oh no, while she's with Nana and some workmate friends. And they're like,
she handles it well.
One, you're a virgin. That's shocking. We didn't know that. And then 2, you really cutting up. Why are you behaving like this?
To their credit, they're more concerned that she's on dating apps. That's not like her.
That's not like her because she had already told him she's not on dating apps, but she is advancing.
So now she's secretly on them, going on dates secretly with people she meets online. That's so dangerous.
It's wild. She's living a wild life.
No one else knows about this Marcus. No one else. And you are alone with him, being intimate to the point where you have to tell him it's only been 2 dates. I'm not going any farther. And he pretends for 2 hours to be okay with that before ghosting you. And I understood her like, I just thought you was dead. That's why I was calling. Why did you ghost me?
She was so confused by his
behavior. Yeah,
She was
I've been
angry.
there too. I've been there too. I haven't been ghosted, but my mind always goes to, oh, you dead.
Oh,
If I call you once and you ain't call me back in an hour, oh, you dead.
fatalistic.
Should I call the police? That's where I'm always gonna think. So she think he dead.
Yeah.
He calls back and he's like, "You're a virgin. You're weird. You're a virgin. You can't drive." And she's like, "Okay, bye, lunatic."
This is weird.
So.
Yeah, so that happens. They make her delete the dating app. Like, delete it.
She was with deleting it when she saw Donovan because she didn't want him to see that she was on there too.
Yeah.
So she
was okay with deleting that. But then the friends have an intervention for her because they really want her to get help. She needs a therapist.
She's losing herself.
She is losing herself. And her friends have come to her and like, please, come on, do something because this is not working for us. We don't like it. You're not the you that we know. And so I'm going to wrap it up here.
Okay.
So Yinka is really struggling to understand why she can't meet people in person. She just doesn't understand it. And it is revealed that she is really having some insecurities that are overwhelming her. And these insecurities are causing her to change herself for other people. And eventually she is convinced, and I think Donovan is the one who convinces her because that is her most, of all the men she's involved with, that is her most natural and friendship oriented relationship that she has. So she hears him when he talks and he seems to be very open with expressing himself sincerely, and he shares his emotions in a good way. And so she takes the recommendation from him to see his therapist. And when she starts to get help, it's when it comes out that she writes a letter to herself. And it's a really nice letter to herself.
Her younger self. She's like, I'm so proud of you. Things are going to get crazy, but you're going to be okay. And yeah.
And then as far as Derek is concerned, remember, she was like, well, let me just give Derek a try.
Did she? No, she didn't.
Yeah, she did. And she went to Derek to try to, tell him, okay, well, let's give it a try. And do you know Derek was dating a 21-year-old woman? So that was it. She was out. So yeah.
But they got back to being friends. And she was like, you know what? And I understood him too. He was like, I had just told you I liked you and I could see that it made you feel uncomfortable. So I just wanted us to get back to being friends. And that's what they did.
So and that changed. So it also changed her relationship with Alex because she could then be friends with him. The therapy helped her to work on those insecurities in a way that she can have these relationships with men and not be looking for anything.
Yeah, she saw Femi. He broke up with his fiance, and
at the wedding.
She didn't feel goosebumps like, oh, now it's my turn to get with you. She
exactly.
Was like, they had a normal conversation. She's like, oh, it's so good. Now Donovan, on the other hand, he do give her goosebumps. Still, told us date.
Donovan. But they're not a couple by the end of the book. I'm just saying they're friends. Anything is possible. Is there another book? Okay. Okay.
Are you going to talk about the mom?
No, I'm not going to talk about the mom, but if you want to, feel free.
Yeah, just real quick. I kind of feel like this is the climax of the book. The whole book, this mom is nagging our Yinka. Where's your husband? Why don't you do this? Once her mom realizes Yinka's been lying about her career and that her daughter's actually been terminated and she ain't got a man, her mom is fit to be tied. She's like, why are you doing this to me? Why do you hate me? And Yinka is like, why are you putting all this pressure on me? Is it because you don't want me to end up like my Aunt Blessing, or is it because you don't want me to end up like you? You never talk about how dad made you feel or your relationship since he died. And I kind of feel like you just don't want me to be alone as you are right now. Her mom sinks to the ground in tears. They have this cathartic moment where they're just crying and holding each other. And then the book kind of makes it that her mom listens and starts showing her photos of her dad and talking more openly about her grief. and trying to consider Yinka's feelings and not pressuring her so much. Same with the aunts. As best she could.
Mm-hmm.
Because they talked.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
That was an important part. Well, that brings us to the end. Why don't we take a quick break?
All right, let's do it.
And we're back. Kari.
Yes.
What's your final verdict? And would you recommend this book?
First of all, I love this book. Great pick, Alexis. I've never related to a protagonist as hard as I've related to Yinka. I felt her. I felt myself in her character. And I loved three things about this book I really loved was, first of all, the mother wasn't made to be the villain. She wasn't dismissed. No one in the book said, well, your mom is toxic, so avoid your mom forever. First, Yinka tried to express her feelings honestly and respectfully to her mother. And in this case, her mother responded well eventually. Now, it's not going to be perfect, but they're making room for each other to grow and to show each other love and honesty and respect. That was great. Donovan was not the final goal. I love that.
I love
that. The goal was not to get Yinka in a marriage. The goal was to get Yinka happy,
loving herself,
and satisfied. Yeah. Loving herself. She had internalized all this colorism, all this toxic behavior from her mother, and it was really wreaking havoc on her mental. And so she got help for that. And on the other side, she said a prayer at the wedding that showed she had loved herself. And people were disgusted. How dare you love yourself? You're single.
Wait. And after she said the prayer, okay. After she said the prayer, the pastor was like,
and so we hope you have a husband. Let's wrap it up. Get you a husband. Lastly, I love that none of the men in this book were evil. It wasn't that Alex was conniving in his dealings. Yes, he could have been more sensitive to the idea that Yinka liked him romantically, but I've seen this behavior. And personally, I think he likes the attention because any woman that you're not dating should be a sister to you. In my opinion. Yeah, any woman you're not dating should be a sister to you. And there are certain things you would say or do with a sister that he was obviously flirting with Yinka. Okay. So Yinka liked him. Shocking. Ooh. And then he come out and be like, I like your friend. That's not right. But I've seen it. So whatever. It didn't make him evil though. And I like that. I like that no men in this book, even the man that ghosted her, Marcus, it was like, unfortunate. Yeah. But he wasn't necessarily like, I don't know, just egregious. I mean, kind of, but whatever.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he wasn't the cartoonish villain of the book. Would I recommend it? There is a scene with Marcus that is a bit intimate. I think it's very honest. But for that reason, I wouldn't recommend it to everyone. However, I would reread this book. I really enjoyed it. And yeah, I would recommend it to some. Alexis, what about you? What's your final verdict? And would you recommend this book?
You know, there are some funny scenes in the book. And the scenes where the pressure is on for women to get married. I like the parts where she thinks out loud, and I'm saddened by how Yinka unraveled, but I think it was true. It's true. Women have a tendency to unravel when we have this amount of pressure on us to find a date, buy a deadline, change your looks, meet expectations of others.
Have you ever felt that pressure? Like, why aren't you married, Alexis? You should get married by this date.
No, I never had that pressure. Not that.
Because you got good friends.
No. Or parents. Yeah, that they didn't force that on me. Yeah. So I did enjoy this book. I enjoyed it a bit. I enjoyed it. Funny and again annoying because of Yinka's spiral. She could not see herself. But the thing is, within the book, you can see why. Yeah. It talks about each level of that. You can see her demise, her spiraling down. And I think that makes the book good because you can talk about all those aspects of the book. They also tell a story around the gentrification of Peckham, which is also interesting. I can't remember. I don't think I went to Peckham, but I've heard about Peckham and I know about the changes that they've made in that area. So I thought that was interesting as well, thinking about some of the areas in the book that they named that I've been to. So that was fun. So yes, I would recommend the book. It was a good book.
And even if you have friends and parents that are supportive, we can internalize messages constantly fed to us by society and think, well, we're supposed to do this by this date or this by this date. And it's based on nothing, like nothing at all. So
Nothing
I liked how it explained that. So thank you, Alexis. This was a great pick. What are we reading next week?
We're going to reread The Thursday Murder Club. Remember that book, readers?
Yeah.
By Richard Osman. I'm looking forward to that reread.
So am I. We have never done a reread. We read this book, felt a way about it, and got ratioed on YouTube. And so we're giving it another chance. Also, we've read the other books in the series and thoroughly enjoyed them. So we'll go back with an open mind to reread the first book of the series. Again, that's The Thursday Murder Club. We've never done this before. We're going to reread a book.
It'll be fun.
Thank you. Yeah, it'll be fun. Well, thank you all for listening to Lit Society. We'll see you next Thursday. Lit Society is brought to you by Alexis Honoria and Kari Herrera. Support the cause by leaving a 5-star review for our show on Apple Podcasts, along with a comment about why you absolutely love us. We love y'all too. To continue listening to our show through October, be sure to sign up for our free tier on Patreon. If you've enjoyed what you've just heard, tell a friend about Lit Society. Visit litsocietypod.com for show notes, this month's book list, and to sign up for our amazing email newsletter. And until next time, you guys,
read something.